hello BookTube, hello Tudorverse. I have a mail haul, an actual Tudor mail haul. I've been on a little bit of, for the last couple of months, because it is slow season out here, I have been doing mainly catch-up Tudor book hauls because the books just aren't coming in quite so fast. I volunteer at my local library's used bookstore. It is the best used bookstore in the Coachella Valley, but it is what it is. What comes in is just what comes in. And a friend sent me a box of Tudor books, and as the book gods would have it, it came in on a week where I actually got a bunch of Tudor books. So even though their Tudor bookstore is, well, their used bookstore gets better Tudor books in general than mine, I would like to point out, look what I got out here in my little Tudor desert. I was about to say pun not intended, but I'm taking full credit for that pun. I really like that. My Tudor desert. I'm sorry, not that I'm competitive, but anyway, let's get to the books. Okay, first up is Elizabeth and her Parliaments. Oh my goodness. So you cannot really talk about Elizabeth's reign without really getting into Parliament just a little bit. So before Parliament's real power started in Henry's day. Thomas Cromwell was the guy who figured out how to weaponize Parliament in order to get Henry control of the English church. And so from that time, Parliament decided that it was going to be important, and which is a good thing, don't get me wrong, but when Elizabeth came along, Elizabeth being a woman, they kind of expected her to listen to them more. They wanted her to listen to any man more, because women were not supposed to be doing all of this on their own. Women were supposed to be subservient to men, were supposed to listen to them and do what they said. So actually, Elizabeth called them as little as she could. It was only when she really needed money that she actually went and called them. So you don't see all of that much. And when they do get called, of course, they take it upon themselves. They take full advantage of the situation and start asking her, like, okay, will you please marry? Will you do this? They tried to push the church, her church, further reformist, whereas she was really trying to keep it in the middle so that all of England could be united under that church without all too much difficulty. This is an incredible resource. I mean, these are unbelievably important. Speaking of Parliament, which the dissolution of the monasteries, this is, again, the dissolution of the monasteries was part of Thomas Cromwell's brainchild, bringing Parliament in to approve the dissolution of all of these monasteries. Now, I don't know who G.W.O. Woodward is. This looks really good. Okay, whoever he is, the table of contents, it shows that he really has covered the whole thing. He starts off by setting the place of the religious order in society, talking about the monasteries as property owners. That was the big thing, and that was why Cromwell was as successful at moving Henry towards reform as he was, because the Catholic Church owned a good third of all lands and incomes in England. So there was an enormous source of wealth available to Henry, especially after Henry had gone through his father's savings. So this is incredible. It also has the aftermath and a few things from the Valor Ecclesiasticus, which was the estimate of they went through and they did, in the visitation of the monasteries, they put together a single book which had all of the properties and rents and the value of each one. this is going to be a fun one to go through. I really enjoy stuff like that. Ooh, next is Tudor Children. This is, so most of the time you're talking about the Tudor era, you're talking about the big things, the dissolution of the monasteries, the pilgrimage of grace, the people who were at the center of it all. But the really fun part is to get into the nitty-gritty, the get down and detailed as to what all of this was, what it felt like on a daily basis for people. So you have people like Amy License, who did, I loved a book called Wood, Smoke, and Sage, who approached the Tudor era from the point of view of the five senses. She didn't go into as much detail as I would like, of like the individual examples, but that's on me and not on her. I look for more detail than most people, so for 90% of the people watching this, it is a wonderful, wonderful book. Pen and Sword, a publisher, has been going through also topics like this. That's another place that you can go to. So like Amy McElroy, who I didn't interview her for this channel, but I've interviewed her for my blog. She wrote a book called Educating the Tudors. You have How to Dress Like a Tudor, Judith Arnop. She's all over the Tudor era. She does, she's a reenactor, so she really understands the costumes. She's paid a lot of attention to all of those things. She also writes fiction. Raising the Tudors, Motherhood in 16th Century England, Stephanie Klein. Books like this are an enormous amount of fun, and Tudor Children, you've always got to be curious. A similar title, All the King's Cooks, The Tudor Kitchens of King Henry VIII at Hampton Court Palace. This is another one. Pen and Sword, Brigitte Webster did a Tudor cookbook based on original Tudor recipes. There are a couple of Tudor recipes in here too. This is, if you've ever been to Hampton Court Palace, you really do need to spend a bunch of time in the kitchens. They encourage you to do that. It is incredible to see the layout of rooms and all of the stuff that they did. So this is always, that is going to be a lot of fun. And finally, Thomas Howard, 4th Duke of Norfolk. Very interesting guy, from a family that was very, very close to the crown, that came very, very close to trying to get one of their own into, trying to graft their stock onto the Tudor rose. Elizabeth herself was a Howard. She favored the Howards. Henry VIII also favored the Howards, even though he killed one, and well, he killed more than one. 2 wives, I forgot about those. The Howards were one of the, if not the, richest, most powerful families in the country. The 4th Duke of Norfolk tried to marry Mary Stuart. He got executed for that. It was the first execution of Elizabeth's reign. Well, the first one that she actually had to sign something for it to happen. And she had a really hard time with it. And I've already killed him off. So reading this is going to be more of a what did I miss? And I know I missed a lot. I did not give him a lot of screen time in What Love Air Meant. I didn't give a lot of people a lot of screen time, simply because I had to cut. I was a little bit ruthless, and but he's a very interesting guy, and I look forward to reading more about him. And that was it. But we're talking. I know I'm supposed to hold him up. That is. Oh my goodness, that is a considerable haul. And thank you.